Absolutely. I mean, this is a map around summer last year where SK started to bring it into the map pool. And the crazy thing is that one of the reasons why it ended up being so cool is because that was when the team really started to understand how good they were as individuals. And that's what this map really allows you to display, is that individual skill. And any innovative individual plays you want to make, it's less restrictive in that way. And one cool thing about that with SK was Fallen, because obviously that was when he was really hitting his prime stride with the snipers. So I do wonder if we're going to see Fallen on the Scout, Fallen picking up AWPs a bit more liberally, as opposed to what we've seen very recently now that Fox has joined the team.
For those of you on Go TV or Game Command, I would suggest watching anybody with an AWP. I hope you have enough monitors. SK starting on the T side. Fallen and coldzera are going to be the grenade men. 2 smokes and 4 flashes. Seized and Flamey will be the grenade men on their side. Flamey with the defuse kit. So not often you'll see 2 people on the CT side with grenades. Perhaps a smoke. Well, we'll see what they have in mind. Edward holding things down on short. Nobody pushing top mid just yet. We see SK all bunched around A, anticipating maybe an overextension.
Yeah, this is a really fast response type play from Na'Vi. That mid-control players on either side is really cool. Edward will spot quite a few players there, and already a pop. This is really big. The early advantage is coming in. A quick response from SK Gaming as they return the kill. Perhaps Edward bit off more than he could chew there. We'll have to see now as the rest of Na'Vi start to shuffle back out of middle, but still keeping a good eye on things. And the player Seized, who is by catwalk, should be able to hear the running of the players on long, so they should have an understanding of what's happening, but do they have the positioning to deal with it?
Ninja conference on long. No CTs in sight. We see coldzera is going to hold the angle and on long if he can while his teammates move towards the site. Lots of flashes coming in. Guardian holding close. Will he be ready though? There's coldzera. That's one of the reasons why you leave one man on long. Taco coming in with a nice headshot there. Simple going for the jumping frags, but that may be a thing of the past now. Taco still holding the angle there. Can the bomb get planted? It's on the floor at the moment. Now it's coldzera all alone and he's in mid.
It's going to be a tough one for Cold. Coming in, he's going to be able to get the USP there, which is really good at ranges. So at least from that perspective, he's going to be on even footing. But time is really a big problem. Simple with that jumping kill already taking the mick a little bit. Oh, wow! How did Cole connect that one?
Does he realize the time? He's got 12 seconds. Oh, he's got too many places to look. Had no idea where Flamey was. And that's going to be that Na'Vi with a strong pistol round. And you see what that means to them. Hear them shouting across the studio.
Dirty stuff there from Simple, already on the first round between these two teams, getting the jumping shot in there. Now, with that early advantage, getting all that cash in the bank, Na'Vi will be shipping in the UMPs. They've got FAMAS and Guardians going to be on the scouts. So this should be really fun because they're going to be up against Tech9s here. So SK Gaming are going to want to get, well, try to close the distance as soon as possible with this kind of a setup. And they have quite a few grenades here, 2 smokes, so there's actually a lot of utility to try to create a wall and obscure the vision, get that bomb planted, and maybe get a couple kills. So there's a lot of danger that Na'Vi have to look out for.
Interestingly, they're not using either smoke to land on Xbox, which would help them move towards short, but no one's holding an angle here for Na'Vi. Again, Simple is in CT spawn, so he can hear any loud movements on short, can give warning to his teammates. Guardian from the car position, putting as much range as possible between the Ts. See, the Ts, they've made their presence known on short, but now they seem to be moving elsewhere. Maybe trying to pull that player in mid. Possible B split?
Yeah, and I think the most common round you're going to see out of SK Gaming setup is a play straight into the A-bomb site. So indeed trying to play against expectation. In comes Flamey though, perfect counter flash from the CTs. Na'Vi looking absolutely fantastic with Simple on the finishing frag there of Fallen with the USP. Lovely reaction, because that was all designed to play against what Na'Vi expected a team with Tech9s and a couple grenades would do, which is almost always, once you get the cat control, just execute onto the A-bomb site. But this was not the case. But Na'Vi still, they only lost 1 player. That's pretty damn good to start things off with.
Also promising from SK that they're showing some prowess cerebrally at the beginning of this match. Again, showing presence towards short, pulling a player from CT spawn towards A to try and bolster the defense, then abusing the hole that was left, or at least trying to. This may be a better map for SK than we saw on Mirage. Do wonder how they will use Fox. Flamey going aggressive now, but he's Too tagged to fall back. Seas has the range though, has the FAMAS as well. Done good damage, flash comes in again. He will fall as well, and Simple will just keep an eye on things. The bomb is firmly in CT possession. They will try and clean things up. Continuation spray will be enough. coldzera will just move straight back into it. 3-0 start from Na'Vi. We'll see what SK have to offer on their first round. No AWPs available unless they want them with no armor.
And we just have to reiterate here, just the fact that we have 4 of the best AWPers in the world in the server at one time, and we're not, I mean, this is the group stages. How amazing is that? And it's Dust2 of all maps as well. Such a brilliant AWP map, which is why James said, basically anyone who picks up an AWP, you should be watching them. And already Guardians at the shenanigans again with a scout. It won't connect this time. Looks pretty close, but no dice just yet. Just keeping tabs on the action. And of course, Na'Vi are going to be playing very economically here, holding on to a lot of inferior weapons. They're going to realize that's the situation. But of course, they will have a big buy if they lose this round. So, but if they win the round, then SK Gaming start to get very behind economically in comparison to Na'Vi. So Na'Vi, they have the ability to take some risks here to mitigate that weapon disadvantage and try to catch SK off guard and maybe disrupt them before they get their plan going.
1 minute 15 on the clock. Taco got to short with almost 1 minute 45 on the clock, so very quickly indeed. Unable to capitalize though, maybe trying to catch someone out of position. Either way, they're still holding position on short. 4 of the 5 players there now. Fox looking out towards long, but he seems to be going to join his team, so it might be a 5-man push. And look at Na'Vi, they're expecting a B player. They've got 3 people inside the B bomb site, which means they've got no information as to what is going on. Seas staying in long for the time being. A Simple goes down, then Seas will probably have to stay towards long, but he's making his way towards A as well. Smokes down, still no rotation. Fox looking towards B. Meanwhile, we've got these nades from SK. Do they have the right read? We've got a cat drop. Maybe they're going towards B as well, or is it the rat? Seas gets the first frag, no trade.
Yeah, looking quite good here somehow for Na'Vi. Both Seas and Simple just having that big task, no support really to deal with this push, and they slowed it down enough really. We have Na'Vi coming in from that B side of the map here. Fox will be a problem, catches Edward off guard, and that's really going to make things difficult now, especially now Seas has gone from the A site. No presence there. What damage can Guardian do? Because that's the question. They have a good boy coming in, another headshot there, and these players that remain, they're very tagged. This is actually a doable round now for Guardian. He just needs a couple of tags. There is a big damage drop-off at range, but here's the first one. Completely unknown position. coldzera with that off angle will take the frag. However, 3 players did go down, so a decent amount of damage there has been incurred onto the SK Gaming side. And now we start to see some AWPs.
Yeah, Na'Vi will have no issue buying in this round. You see Guardian continuing with the scout in the previous one, so again, it was not just about winning the round at the end, trying to clutch there, but also about damage for the rounds to come. A bit scary towards the end there for SK, but you heard a roar from them. They're sitting next to our table, and you know what that means to them. They have fought very hard, very much a Rocky Balboa story in their previous match to get to this point. Fox smoking off the Xbox for his team. It seems he will spend most of his time on the T side, looking outside A doors, while the main roster of SK get to work. Edward and Guardian towards long at present. Again, we've got Simple in CT spawn. He's biding his time. You can see he is in the boost spot.
Pretty wall bangable though. A lot of teams starting to catch on to that. And it's amazing at dealing with B-splits. Also baiting B-splits, if you don't show yourself, it feels like those 2 players are actually isolated on that B-bomb site and that there is 3 on A. That's kind of what they're trying to, they would be trying to trick the T side into thinking. If the T side was to move into mid, try to gain some info, Simple wouldn't show himself, and seeing no traffic in CT spawn does indicate that perhaps it's a very vulnerable B bomb site. However, they're not really poking around middle just yet. They're holding on to catwalk, so the default is kind of played out here. And now this is a time when we would expect SK to start making information plays, or maybe just to go for it with an execution of a set piece. But look at that beautiful timing on that smoke grenade. If they were to go for a rush here, that's going to delay them massively. Na'Vi seem to know the kind of pace that SK have.
The flashes as well. Na'Vi looking like a well-oiled machine, a unit. And here we go. Guardian, he's got 3 big angles. Simple holds down the CT spawn area, so that's no close range engagement for Guardian. He can still hold these ranges. Nice crouch there, but he spots the head. Can the bomb go down? They've got to plant it for short.
Guardian, he knows what's going on, looking for the angle for the wall bang. However, not this time. His teammates, though, starting to shuffle into position for the retake. There's 5 of them in total, but with this flank, perhaps Fox can make the difference. Third takes down Guardian, though. Now Fox has all the distraction in the world to work from. 3 players left for Na'Vi, a triple face. Oh, poor Fox. That is not the situation he's going to ever be able to deal with, and that will be the round from Na'Vi. An explosive retake, and they read the play as well. That smoke timing, I mean, when that smoke drops there, you can't wait for it. And SK didn't have time to work any other parts of the map, so they basically just made SK's push weaker from the get-go. So really good read right now from Na'Vi. And again, this is a trend I think we've seen, James, from the 2 previous cobblestones of Na'Vi. They have been studying their opponent. They know the pace and the kinds of attacks that their opponents like to make, and every single game is tailored to their opponents.
At the beginning of this tournament, it was all eyes on Astralis, but Na'Vi continue to show us that they cannot be counted out of the potential to raise that trophy in the Fox Theatre this weekend. Surviving with 3 players will be a plus for their economy. Now they just need to weather the storm of SK, who've spent some money. Their loss bonus has been reset. They're not in a good spot. Gets worse with Fallen being naded. Simple's there for support as well. He can play around that smoke, looking away in case there's a flashbang. There it goes. Fox out first. There's Fur as well. Cold, last man standing with the bomb in that area. And now there's Taco. Try and do what he can, but that won't be much. Easy round for Na'Vi.
Scary stuff too. I mean, look at how clinical that was from Simple. Really calm and confident there, just controlling all the bullets, finding the headshots in a timely manner. And here we go, we get to see it again. And just how, I mean, of course they're echoing players, but this is just such beautiful execution from Simple. And that is something we're going to expect and look forward to in the future here. But there's a slight pause to the action as SK Gaming have decided to take a timeout. And it is in a timely manner because they're down 4 rounds. It's a 5-1 advantage for Na'Vi right now. And Na'Vi don't look like they're stopping anytime soon. And not only that, there is so much more up their sleeve that they haven't had to go to just yet.
I was going to say, SK needed money in the bank. There's a nice little, nice drawing, nice little toys and whatever. SK needed money in the bank, really. They need to get going and get those full buys in, but they're not going to wait for those full buys. Fallen is AWP, no armor. They're forcing it up. coldzera with the FAMAS. Utility is extremely limited, so they're really going to be relying on Fallen to get some work done with this AWP. He hasn't got a great spawn to go for an early pick towards long, as you can see. Teammates well ahead of him, and you see Na'Vi prepared with the double grenade. SK don't want to be facing more double grenades. Complete abandonment of the long area, the Ninja Conference once again. And Na'Vi, again, I think they're just trying to play against what they think SK are trying to do. So we've got a 3-man hold of the short area, SK, though. They've taken long.
Yeah, this is a great opening here from Na'Vi. It's they're trying to predict SK, giving up long, and SK, they're running a strategy where they take long really fast, so this kind of works out much better, I would say, for SK, because they get some free map control, and they have enough time as well when they do this to understand that if there's nobody here, they have to have stacked long with 2 players, because usually there's 2 players around this area to defend this spot, and if there isn't, the only other place the A players can be is short. So they know what they're walking into right now, and they're choosing to just go for it, and they have that lurker Cold, who is in middle as well. So it's all about the shots and the timings of the grenades here. This is going to be very explosive from SK when they pull the trigger.
What if they peek with no grenades? Oh, there's a smoke down. Otherwise, that could have been absolute carnage. Na'Vi, though, they've got a player in Gandalf, but the trajectory of the grenade's been spotted. Guardians get taken down. Fox, he knows where Simple is. He can just hold this angle. They don't have the nades to flush him out, just to flash and smoke. They'll have to just bide their time, maybe have a crossfire. And there we go. The bomb's getting started. Here comes Simple, but they're ready for him. 3 players remain for Na'Vi. Edward holding down a short position, but it's a sticky situation. Can they even go for this?
That's a great flash. A beautiful read. They know that there's going to be a player on the flank here. It's so very standard, and that is going to be enough here. Just the presence of Cold, even if he stays alive, doesn't get any more kills, it just makes it impossible for Edward and Flamey to get anything done. So they're going to go into save mode here, and the Hunter is on to begin with here. But maybe SK don't want to overextend. They have nobody with over $500 in the bank. Everyone is super poor. They need to survive with all 5 players. So they're running a containment strategy here, just trying to choke out the remainder of Na'Vi. And Cold will go down. They can't really afford to lose too much more than that, to be honest. Oh, gotta be careful here. Flamey and Edward able to get some extra damage done. Very crucial. Let's see how that impacts SK moving forwards. But great play from SK. SK knew what Na'Vi were doing, and Na'Vi should have worked out what SK were doing as well. and SK had the confidence to just run in there with a clean execution of the grenades.
Na'Vi, potentially, the way they bought a bit late, I was wondering if they were considering more than one op, but for now, they will continue with the one onto Guardian. Simple will be rifling. And now Fallen can afford some Kevlar. But again, they're not going for the early picks towards long, and those grenades will maybe ward them off a bit longer. Na'Vi with a very solid start in a long position. I don't know if Fallen would have seen Edward jump past the angle, but he will make his exit once again. Got a smoke so we can keep long shut down for a while. C's playing close to B tunnel.
And one key thing here is that we have to note straight away, Fallen is on the AWP on the T side. And one thing we have to expect here is that no matter how good Fox is with the AWP, he can't contend with the likes of Guardian or Simple. I think the only AWPers on SK that can is Fallen and Cold. So I'm very happy to see that Fallen is on the AWP right now.
SK have just deployed a wall of smoke in the long area, maybe trying to pull players again, trying to sell an A. It looks like they're going for a fake. You see the movement into the middle area. They won't see anybody on ramp, but will SK, will they realize that there's another stack on the short area? And how will they position for that? C's again pushing. It looks like he wanted to poke a bit earlier, and now he does. But what can they glean from this? They'll have no idea. Or maybe they will. Simple in a good position. Can he get the kill, though? There's one running out of bullets, but Flamey will save him.
That's great work here. This strategy, this approach, we saw it last round from Na'Vi. This time it works out. Very good at blowing up a B play. That's exactly what's happening right now. Na'Vi had such a fast rotation, SK could not even pull the trigger on the other part of the split, which was from tunnels into that B bomb site. They have to abandon it. But can they even afford to? They have 30 seconds. The bomb, I don't know if it even made a full sprint to the A bomb site, if it could even plant in time. So now they're just in a spot where they just have to hang on to the AWP. And this is such a bad timing. They just won a round. They lost a couple players at the end of that round. So they have no money at all. So if they survive with these 3 guns, they have to play with a force buy on Fur and Fox. And they have $100 and $200,
Look at the money.
James.
All the people that are alive are the people who, if they were dead, they could buy something with the loss bonus, but because they're alive, they'll get no loss bonus.
This is terrible.
So how weird is that? That is the worst spread of money for SK in that particular round. And we got Simple saving the day for his team. Otherwise, who knows what happens in this situation? But it seems that they slowly realized what was going on, even though they had no vision of long.
I think this is actually a really cool strategy, and I think this is really nice, I think, for all the viewers as well, because you can see why, in a large extent, Na'Vi went with the approach where they kind of gamble and say, okay, we're going to give up long completely and play a bunch of focus around the catwalk area. Catwalk's very hard to defend against the Ts if the Ts actually go for a full-out push on it, because it's very hard to fall back from that position. So unless you get some crazy defense, it's not always very likely you do that. It's just much more advantageous for the Ts. But what it is good at doing is if the Ts are kind of baited into going for a B play, you have a very fast rotation time. Very, very fast. So if the Ts never take catwalk away from the CTs, then any B play is much less likely to work. So here we see that both sides of the coin, where SK went long and just basically won the round because of that strategy. And this time the opposite, where SK did what Na'Vi wanted them to do. And it's a very timely win. And here is the buy. Not the best in the world, but it's something.
Cold's got a long spawn with the AWP. He's been thrown. Can he make a connection? No, the bunny hop hasn't really worked out from the nades. Going to come in. He's got 40 HP, but he's got the kill. That's much more important. 2 plays there for Na'Vi, and maybe they'll be entertained for a while now. They've been abandoning long early for the most part, but that pick may change things.
Yeah, it's a really big pick, that's for sure. And as a T side too, they have a lot of utility still to combine to try to make something of this. And look, this is the response. Push into upper dark, comes in from Na'Vi, decimated. Okay, I don't know where the response is now, James. They're 2 against 5.
They were so ready for that. We have to look back at that later on. The positioning of SK for that position. Edward can't win the duel against the UMP on long. That leaves Guardian alone. There is an AWP to be collected. He is going to be hunted. We've got some Battle Royale business going on now. Fur having a look. Guardian spotted. I don't think Fox will have the range of the UMP, but I'll go for it. Doing some nice tagging. We'll see if, well, how many players for SK will survive as well, as money isn't spectacular for them. Oh, wow. Fallen finds a lovely angle. Can Fox reach the AWP? Not sure if I get there in time, but I mean, again, these players are trying to get inside each other's heads. But if you look at the position on long, on B halls, the player who's engaging first on the T side, Taco's position wants the CT's face here. Like, Cold0 is in a perfect position to trade. They can't retreat from that position. So they put Na'Vi in no man's land. Still, there's a 3-round lead for Na'Vi. They're on the buy once again. Utility's low for them as well. But Guardian's on the AWP. That's one of the most important factors. That smoke towards the corner will make it hard for anybody to face. So long will be abandoned again by the CTs.
Oh, Cold, he's going to be receiving an aggression in. dark, and that's going to be won by Seized. Very good job to Seized there. Now full control, and the bomb's actually stuck in a sense because Fallen, his path could potentially be cut off. He could potentially be flanked, and the A bomb site is up for grabs here by SK. This is a little bit worrying right now. Fallen is just barely moving away from the T-spawn area to avoid being flanked, just in the nick of time there.
Simple's
Somehow
heard him
making
though.
it to A.
Simple's heard him, and the entire team are rotating now. They've got Seized to cover the long area, but they instantly move towards short, but they're stuck for the time being. Who will this favor? There's a man advantage, of course, for the CT side, but SK have got the bomb site and long.
And Na'Vi, they had 4 men standing on short for quite a while. It's not really, like, you never want to attack the A-bomb site with 4 guys on short, so it took them quite a while to reposition after all of that, which does give some post-plant positioning here to some extent for SK. So the opening battles, very crucial, of course. There it is, Guardian, he gets the first entry here, looking for more, opening up the business here on the bomb site there for Flamey, taking down 2 at range. Flamey getting himself a triple, no additional help required. And that is the defuse coming in for Na'Vi.
That was so awkward for SK. Seized with 20 HP, was standing outside long for ages. And Fallen was just holding the angle in pit, just holding the angle. As soon as Seized moves through the doors, Fallen looks towards the site because his teammates are dropping, and he just sees the elbow of Seized, looks back at Seized, can't kill either one. That's horrible for him. 7 rounds for Na'Vi. Now we see the economic difficulties go back in the way of SK. Fer and Fallen on Tech 9s for this round. No AWPs left for the T side. 3 AKs on the remainder of the team. Again, Na'Vi forced away from the long area. Very early charge from SK, but will they pursue the site?
Yeah, it's really nice to take this chunk of map control really early on. And a lot of teams, what they would like to do from this position is take away Catwalk, because that's the only spot that the CTs can really operate from. They were forced away from long, so it's going to be Catwalk. And we can see on the mini-map that Edward is there. He's on his lonesome, although he does have some support from the double doors. So we'll have to see if SK can get a good attack onto that Catwalk area to take it away. Because if they do, with already having Taco in long, then A becomes a very strong split possibility. And there's plenty of time to work towards that. And we can start to see that Na'Vi know this. They know how to play Dust2. They know that they have to try to form a defense here, that SK will attack this position.
Lovely delay with the Molotov from Seas. Once the smoke goes down, Edward still holding short. This is awkward for SK. Less than a minute. 1 person remaining in long. Look at that re-smoke from the team. Na'Vi quite solid unit, but Edward from out of nowhere, Fox shoots him through the smoke. That's disaster. Can they capitalize? They've got long, they've got short. Can they get the bomb down?
Guardian, he needs to deliver big here if the charge is to come in. Oh, he's being spotted for 2. Oh, man! Oh. Guardian! That's some classic Guardian stuff right there. Somehow picking off Taco at distance, and now the rush has been abandoned. They know that Na'Vi have been rotating. Then they catch him out of position. Yes, Cease is the first one to fall. Now it's Simple on the rotation. Again, he's got no direct support here. He's going to see everything. Gets the frag onto Cole. It is a mad dash for the B-bomb site.
15 seconds, and Simple's making his way in the site. Maybe the worst person you want in the site if you're SK right now. Go for this break, can't get the connection. Gets the first one. Flamey cleans up the rest of it. These are such tight rounds. SK, they had all the guys through middle doors. They got the kill, but Cold Zero was the only person with a smoke, and he was behind everyone. They knew they couldn't cross. That's so awkward for SK. But now it's Na'Vi with a 5-round lead. Look at this shot from Guardian.
Wow.
That is absolutely disgusting.
And that's what stopped them from pushing the A-bomb site. This is the crazy thing right now for me, is that both SK and Na'Vi are making these split-second adjustments in the mid-round when the other team basically kind of predicts what's going to happen. They play super well to basically dismantle the initial position of that team to give them a slight advantage on the defense. And then you have SK like, okay, we immediately understand here that we have to go for rotation, because at least we can have an advantage still, because now they think it's going to be A, so we can catch rotation. So they play it really well. And then Na'Vi has some awesome individual performance. And it's just crazy, James. This is some super high-level Counter-Strike we're seeing from both these teams right now. And Na'Vi, they're off to an 8-3 start out of that. So that must be giving them so much confidence.
Especially as SK's money's been broken. Just pistols for the mostly Brazilian side. Cold Zero and Taco with Kevlar as well. No utility whatsoever, no pop flashes through the doors, no way to make it easier to get those close quarters engagements. Simple again, a guy in CT holding down the doors. Might be doors to glory, might be doors to slaughter. Probably the latter in this situation. See if Guardian can deal with this run boost. Run boost, the Glock. Fallen is just a flying pinata. Has he done his job, though?
Yeah, looking to gain some ground there to get the bomb down. That's really all it's about. Frag would be nice. There's one from coldzera, and the bomb will be planted on the short position. So this has actually worked out more or less. If another kill can be extracted, that'd be great. But Guardian, this is actually quite cool because Guardian is really good at knowing those angles. It's often very difficult to deal with, but we saw previously as well him looking for those wallbang shots. He was very close last time, and this time the bomb does go down, but we can see that he does very much know those wallbang angles on the boxes on the A site, which are really important if you're an AWPer, because it's one of the guns that can actually get the penetration on those positions for the wallbang shot.
Guardian defused the bomb. He was the closest to defuse the bomb. Always good for your AWPer to get the defuse bonus. That bit extra money for that bit more expensive weaponry. Speaking of which, Fallen again is AWP, no armor. SK can't quite get their money in the right place, as Na'Vi have now done. Guardian going for the cheeky peek. He'll see no one. What's he going to do with this information? So keep an eye on the rest of his team. 3 plays in long, standard stuff for the take there. Flamey and B on his own, so no one in a real position to do anything crazy, and he charges up mid. And they may not feel like it's necessary now with a 6-round lead. No need to overextend. Got some cheeky peeks coming in here. Taco can't quite get the kill though. Sees suddenly there for support, but no one else is going to go forward to push. Minute 20 on the clock for SK to try and claw their way back into this.
Yeah, at the very least did force a smoke out there, but for the cost of a player, not really a trade I would take every day. So SK now moving in towards catwalk position, and it's going to be tough from this point forward. They're going to have to really use these grenades very, very well to give themselves some advantages and to force some chaos here and to stop ultimately Guardian. To because if he is able to even see somebody for a second as they're making their way across to gain position onto the site, then it's very likely he's going to just nail that shot. He's been very consistent so far this tournament, which is just so good to see some of that old Guardian form coming back. And you can see that the split is indeed being set up. So Na'Vi, 3 players against 4 for this defense.
Fallen's got himself 1 kill so far, so he's not having a good time. Fox walks to his death. Fallen with no armor will get the trade, but again, there's still a man down. 25 seconds left. The bomb has not yet been spotted. Edward playing the goose position. He may be the ace in the hole for the Na'Vi team, but Guardian is another ace. Maybe the deck is stacked. Bomb down, and now Fallen, 13 seconds left. Has to try and save, but Flamey is hunting him. So where will he hide? Tough times ahead for SK.
Yeah, it's really cool how Guardian played that position with his teammate on the bomb site. I believe it's Simple, and we could just talk about that setup for a moment for any of you viewers who are in a team or they're playing matchmaking or whatever. If that usual situation where you lose long so quickly, Guardian, he has 2 choices. He either gives up short and then his player on Goose just gets rushed down and he dies anyway because he has a very bad position in the long term, or he tries to hold that position from an off angle from long, so the guy on long attacking has to go very deep, and that allows him to offset the timing so he can defend both positions. Even if he's only good for 1 or 2 frags, it's probably better. So 10-3 is the score ultimately here, and SK with an AWP at the very least, but no Kevlar on Fallen, and Fer with a very fast Tech 9 push here up catwalk. Can he get something out of this? At least it's some information.
Yeah, once he's there, if no one's trying to play close, then there's not so much he can do. So I think they're playing to try and get somebody, maybe trying to catch Guardian off if he wants to play the short role, but that doesn't seem to be his style today. He is quite content towards the car. Na'Vi do not want to get exploited by SK. They'll do their best to play to their own advantages. Edward in the pit for this round. Simple once again in CT. See coldzera asking some questions, but no answers just yet. Look at this setup here from Na'Vi. Again, they are playing like such a solid unit. Now, with that smoke down, it is possible to, there are various ways to jump up on these boxes. Simple's demonstrating one. On those white boxes, there is a corner you can jump up on. He's got a nice angle, playing delayed information there. Molotoving to try and support his teammates in case of any fast reaction, any fast rotation. But SK, fairly static still.
Yeah, the picking battle won by Simple. And now Fallen has to try to open things up with this AWP. He does have a bunch of grenades going into this position. Will Simple decide to push it? That's the question. He has teammates coming in for flashing, but he goes in straight away. Gets himself a trade there with the help of Flamey. Although Fox is good for the trades himself. 3 versus 3 with just a seized alone on the bomb site. Maybe that's enough, or maybe it's not. Taco at distance with the Deagle. Very nice pickoff, very fast pickoff, allowing a bomb plant. Perhaps, but no, Guardian is so swift, and with the AWP, he's going to just strike, and Taco will be now cold and dead on the floor of the B-bomb site, leaving that bomb not planted. There is no way Fulham can win this round at this point. All he can do is just survive. Once again, Na'Vi just, they look at James. I am surprised how much, as you said, how much of a unit they appear to be.
Credit to Fallen dropping that smoke on top of the white box as well, so the self-boost position is nullified, but Simple cares not for your smokes. Simple is real man, Dad, and he will run through the smoke and just try and shoot people in the face. I feel like there's a lot of small margins which simply haven't gone SK's way, or small situations, which is giving Na'Vi a very lopsided score in the first half. We're into the last round now of the first half. We'll see if SK can make it to 4. Again, I don't think Fallen's... I think he's had 1 round with AWP and armor. Once again, they're light on the utility. He's holding the angle where you jump on the ledge onto the platform. Once you're on there, if you stand up, you can be seen. It's that simple. So very awkward for the CTs if they're spotted by an AWPer. The bomb outside B tunnels. This tells the story, but it's still early days. But look at the setup on long. Na'Vi changing things up wildly. No Simple in CT spawn. You've got Edward facing the wall in case there's a flashbang, and Guardian holding the angle. So SK are going to be woefully unprepared for this. 3 people looking to go through mid doors. Is Flamey ready for them?
This is cool. This is a setup from Na'Vi that Astralis used to actually innovated very, very early on when they were very good at Dust2. And Cole, he's just going to annihilate Edward and walks in with the Galil. Brazen stuff, and speaking of brazen stuff, Flamey defending with a 2K there. That B bomb site is not to be penetrated whatsoever. Every single battle going the way of the Na'Vi defenders, leaving just Cole with 8 points of health. A stolen M4 and an incendiary. I don't know how much he can get out of this. Na'Vi look to be storming ahead to a 12-3 first half here, unless Cold goes absolutely nuclear. But what a display. I don't know how many duels or opening duels we saw SK even win, if they had any at all in this T half of theirs.
20 seconds to kill 3 people who are all on the B bomb side. The pre-fire's coming in. Sees doesn't need to peek again. He can be the trade fragger now. Simple's going to be facing first, and he'll steal a kill away. So indeed, it will be 12-3. But again, credit to Na'Vi. They're playing like such a unit. The way they're flashing for each other and putting each other, they're like almost baiting SK. Like the flash comes in here after the first kill, boom. He looks away, he knows it's coming. Fox gets taken down for free. Lovely stuff from Na'Vi. That's a very hard team to play against. We see the stats here. Simple top fragging for his team with 19. Cold 0, 13 for him, but it's only good for 3 rounds.
Yeah, and it is so cool that setup that they're using. We saw them actually go into that setup a couple times in this matchup, and generally speaking, across the cobblestones we saw, their CT setups, they were showing the ability to play so many different types, to always mix it up and always keep teams guessing. And that position we saw Flamey in by the boxes outside the B site, that's such a strong position, because in that 3-man setup, you don't normally expect it to be 3 men there. So you think that if you saw that, if you have the info there's 2 on the site, you just don't know, you just don't expect that guy to be there, especially if you've seen a guy in CT spawn as well. So crazy stuff coming in here from Na'Vi, that start. How do SK recover? Because one thing that worries me, James, is that Fallen never got going in that one. He never got going.
He's got 3 kills.
He has 3 kills. And the crazy thing, too, is that
So is Fur. Taka's got 5 kills. But I mean, they got 3 rounds, so they're not going to have many kills. But he had 1 kill for the longest time.
But that's the thing, like, he had a lot of AWPs, though. He was able to get the AWPs out there. So it's a crazy situation. Wow.
This guy owns the cinema. So
Boom.
I bet he's naked then.
You think?
No one's in there.
Yeah.
He has to be naked. He can only be naked. No proof required, though. So chill out on the tweets. We'll see if SK can give you more of a game to watch in your cinema, sir or madam.
Do you wonder, James, that perhaps maybe because they've been practicing with Fox and he's been AWPing a lot more, that to some extent, when you get a matchup like this, it's just such a clear decision. Fallen has to AWP. And again, because he's been a bit out of practice in how the setups work, do you think that they were practicing like like with Fallen AWPing, or do you think that's just because they're up against the likes of Simple and Guardian on the AWP?
Well, going back to Mirage, one of the guys in the green room said that Fallen's not too fond of AWPing on Mirage, which maybe is part of the reason Fox was AWPing primarily. But I think they were forced to adjust, which means that they're forced to play with strategies that they haven't been developing, which puts them in a very tough spot, basically. So, yeah, every game's going to be very difficult, I think, for SK, no matter who they're playing, what map, so on and so forth. Now it's their turn to defend. Now it's their turn to be at the mercy of their opponents. Fox will be the early warning system. The Shadow, will it play a part here? He knows he's just coming, sees jumps, but there we go. Fox ready for it. Simple there as well. 3 bullets left. Patient play, and Fox takes the second kill. What else can Na'Vi do?
Yeah, that was great stuff from Fox. 2-man advantage. And with the Glocks too, I mean, you don't really have the ability to play ranges too well. So to already cut the numbers down, I mean, you can sacrifice some numbers just to close the ranges, but with already 2 players down, that now gives you a really awkward spot because you have to kind of win picks against weapons that are superior at the ranges, those USPs. And SK Gaming are going to realize this. They're going to try to keep those battles to the long ranges, generally speaking. And SK, I wonder what they're expecting here, because they do have some bodies in the right places here.
Guardian just showed the bomb long. He shoulder peeked Fox. Fox was peeking. They know the bomb was just outside long. But there are 40 seconds left, so options are available to Na'Vi. And showing the bomb long, maybe they're going to try and capitalize on B, just as SK did in rounds on their T side. Fallen spots and plays moving. He'll have a look, but he'll stay on the site to play crossfire with Taco. They set up, but instant headshot for Taco. They're in trouble now. The bomb could go down here.
Oh, this is big. Beautiful entry there. That instant headshot, as you said, that stopped the peak on Plateau, made things really awkward. And now Fallen comes in with the likes of coldzera. This is looking very tough for both sides right now. There's no kit on these players of SK. They've got to get these frags quickly now, as Cold is the healthiest player of the two. In fact, Fallen will fall at this point. Fox now coming in. He has to get the additional kills here to save the round. He's up against Flamey and Edward. Flamey very weak. In comes the mad spray, and Edward calmly takes him down. And oh my god, Edward with the 4K there. He is known for the pistols, but with that 2-man advantage, that is crazy that Na'Vi win this.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate for C's that where he stood in the door just gave Fox loads of warning with his shadow there. And I think at the end there, I think there was a bit too much, bit too tense, bit too much panic in that last duel. Fox should have definitely got one of those kills, but there we go. 10-round lead for Na'Vi. Opportunity has come and gone for SK. Force buy is here. Fallen on the scout, the infamous scout that he wields. He leaves $800 in the bank. Other than that, no one's got any money left. Fallen trying to bait the players to come in and take him down. He has support. That smoke makes it harder, but Na'Vi not going to bite. Moving towards a short position. A is somewhat empty as far as CTs are concerned. Fallen in an awkward spot. Lovely shot that one to Edward.
Oh my god. That is nice. Even the wall bang, they're clipping the edge. And here comes the bomb plant, though. It's not going to amount to too much, perhaps. Although some of these players, the remainder of Na'Vi, they are indeed quite weak. So there is a chance. But again, lack of kit means that things have to speed up. Fur wins the battle against C's with the UMP. And that's going to be an upgrade perhaps for him. In fact, no, this is a UMP as well. Flamey's going to easily take him down. And now Flamey's up against 2. The AK's good at these ranges, but he can't really take hits here. This is really problematic. Oh, Flamey catching Fox, and now looking for the shot on Cold. The ace, of course. Flamey steps it up. You can always rely on him. Crazy stuff, Na'Vi. They can do no wrong, it would seem.
2 rounds away from victory. This may be a brief map, but perhaps if it is, this one SK can forget going into tomorrow's matches, but they're not out of this just yet. What will they choose to do? They haven't spent their money, so they may be looking to play against match point the rest of the way. It seems that is the case. They wouldn't have much to offer if they went for the force in this round, so they'll try to put their best foot forward when there's no more space to step back. Backing off to the A area. They have no choice but to play their close quarters positions. You saw what Flamey did on the ramp with his AK. Na'Vi starting slow, just making sure there's no push towards B. Nobody mid though at the moment. Bear in mind, if you're looking down mid from T spawn, you can't see short. So when you get those fast boosts from CT, you need somebody in the suicide position. Otherwise, you could get caught off guard. And indeed, we see that push now in the middle area from SK, but there's no one in B.
Taco might find a good timing here. If he's on point, he can get some shots off. There's one! There's two! And that might be the difference here. They know what's going on. They can quickly rotate, but Na'Vi, they have a fast response of their own now, looking for the fraggers. They know that they can be beaten to the punch on the bomb site, but Fallen comes in, he's got the USP. There's the patient tapping, looking for that frag quickly onto C's, the dancing there. Oh, Fallen's gonna be flanked. And now it's a 2 versus 3. Taco's got himself 2 kills on the Deagle, but he's got to do a lot more for them to win the round now.
In the meantime, Flamey's holding down the A bomb site with 1 HP. Had an off angle on the barrel, and I think it was Fur he took down with the UMP. So he's in a difficult position, but now SK are on the wrong side of the site. Na'Vi don't know if long is clear, so they're going to be slow, and that's going to give time for SK to rotate towards A. And again, Flamey, he can't for phase. He's got 1 HP. Down he goes. Taco with the scout as well can hold the cross. If there's any gap in the smoke, there's opportunity for SK.
And they have to go for it. They absolutely can't waste any time here. 10 seconds to plant the bomb. Can they get onto it in time? Yes. A good few seconds to spare for that plant. And in comes the rest of SK now. Fox and Taco. Oh, Fox picks up a headshot there. Dirty stuff long range with the UMP. Edward now in the 1 versus 2 as Taco and Fox try to coordinate here to make it impossible for Edward to do this. He's going to try to isolate these players with this AK, working around these boxes on the bomb site. Fox gets closer, taken down by Edward now. Just Taco left. Time is of the essence. There's no kit. Edward makes it happen. The clutch comes in 1 versus 2. And once again, Na'Vi with another clutch victory. 15-3.
Match points for Days. Lovely stuff. Target selection from Taco. Takes Guardian down first and then has enough cooldown to allow the kill on Simple, but it's not enough. Here's their buy. Double ops onto Fallen and Taco with the second one. He is AWP, no armor. That may be why he is holding onto it, as that gives him an advantage versus a rifle and the prospect of aim punch. He's holding the B sight down with his AWP. Guardian having a look, making sure no one's on what he can see of short, not the whole of short. 2 players around mid doors for the CT side. Fox will be left alone on long. We have Na'Vi taking their initial map control.
Really tense stuff here. Fur, the first man to face, but he's going to be flashed and taken down by Flame. He did get some damage in there, Dink, I think, with the rifle that he had, but that is a Flamey still alive, and it's all on Taco now. Not often the most common player to be handling the AWP on the team. Oh, ooh. No, it's not even Guardian, is it? It's Simple with the 1 tap. Cole coming in for a quick response, but it's tough.
Fallen must know somebody's on the short area. They need to cross to Na'Vi in the B bomb site. Maybe that's something. C's gets taken down. Fallen, he could commit to try and take the bomb plants down. Just above the head, though. Not going to work out for him. But I respect the risk taken. Fallen taking all the pre-fire shots, doing as much as he can. They're against match point. Can they make any connections? Jump spot Simple. Oh, he's giving him a haircut. And it's Edward with the flank. This may shut things down. Fallen can't turn in time. 16-3. Dominating score by Na'Vi.
Legend status renewed. Na'Vi, I believe it's fair to say they're the only team so far in the Swiss system group stages that have really looked untouchable. 2 cobblestones and a Dust2 later, a 3-0 cruise through to the playoffs at the ELEAGUE Major 2017. It is crazy to see them at this form, and I cannot wait to see what else they